Hi everybody, our topic is reducing the effects of a toxic culture within a school. So many schools adopt a deficit view where they focus on what CLD students cannot do instead of what they can do and what they bring to the table. As educators, it's our responsibility to work toward ending these toxic school environments and welcoming CLD students, all of their strengths and cultures. We approached our research with a single question in mind. What can a single teacher do to help reduce the negative effects of a school culture in which admin or other teachers hold on to negative beliefs about CLD students? Creating a school environment that is welcoming to CLD students is so important because it's their legal right. Every student deserves quality education, regardless of what their primary language or culture is. Teachers who harbor and hold on to negative beliefs about CLD students' abilities or cultures are failing to meet their academic and social needs. Research indicates that the culture of the school influences student outcomes, but particularly CLD student outcomes. The culture of the school is also the most important agent in helping to shape teacher beliefs. If individual teachers can focus on changing their own mindsets, there are so many ways that their individual classrooms can promote learning for all students, but especially CLD students. Teachers can do 5 simple things. First, teachers can be reflective and aware of their own biases. Second, they can develop greater empathy for their students. Third, they can understand the challenges that CLD students face. Teachers can also work to improve the motivation for CLD students. Last, teachers can recognize and embrace the diversity within their own classrooms. Mindsets must always stay positive and focus on what CLD students bring to the table and what their strengths are, instead of what they cannot do. First, teachers must be aware of their own self-biases. It is incredibly difficult to not have a single bias, but ignoring them or refusing to accept them is detrimental to everybody. A teacher can communicate with other teachers to help determine what their biases are. Once biases are determined, teachers must be reflective in researching ways to refute them or overcome their biases. This creates a positive culture for learning. There are many self-bias tests out there produced with a single Google search if you do not know yours, or the link below for the Harvard self-bias test has many options as well. Second, teachers have to develop empathy for students. We can imagine what our students might be feeling or thinking. We can also befriend people from different cultures as ourselves and learn from them, so we're properly educated on different cultures. Volunteering in the community could also allow teachers to meet more people and be exposed to more cultures. Last, reaching out to families from our classroom, school, or community will help establish connections with these families and help teachers become more knowledgeable of backgrounds and cultures within the school district. Third, teachers have to understand the challenges that CLD students arrive with. Many times, students are arriving from a new, totally different country. Once they are in the United States, they have to learn how to adapt to a new educational system and cope with the nuances of this new culture. Many times, these challenges can be extremely overwhelming for our CLD students. To build motivation, teachers must consider how and why we want our students to succeed. Teachers must then use meaningful teaching methods that are appropriate for CLD students to help them become successful learners. Another strategy to use within our classrooms is to recognize the diversity. To do this, teachers need to be aware of equality, that all students have a right to learn. Teachers must also be aware of equity, that all students are unique. When teachers are cognizant of the diversity, all students will benefit because of the opportunities to learn about the cultures they bring with them. To help CLD students be successful in the classroom, teachers must provide appropriate accommodations to set them up for success. Teachers and students have to set challenging and realistic goals that are appropriate while using the accommodations to attain these goals. CLD students can benefit in school if they are given the correct accommodations. CLD students must be given an opportunity to participate in CLD groups as well as intermix and ability groups. They must also be accommodated with the use of prior knowledge, and these can be activated using cues. It is especially important to communicate and collaborate with other teachers, particularly ESL teacher, for these accommodations. Another way CLD students can be guided towards success is to have goals. These goals must be student-oriented, and the student must be involved in making the goal. The goal must also be achievable, small, and then increase over time. When CLD students know that they can attain a goal, they will work harder. Last, the goals must have a focus. Not having a focus can cause the affective filter to rise. An individual teacher can also embrace the diversity in his or her classroom by exposing all students to various cultures. Teachers can utilize books or literature written about or by people within other cultures. They can also utilize video clips or movies to display these cultures in a multimedia way. Other students can conduct research projects on different cultures, and this can be adapted and tweaked to any variety of grades. Many lessons can incorporate cultural diversity as well. For example, around Halloween, teachers could conduct a mini lesson on how other cultures celebrate Halloween in ways that differs from the typical celebrations within a school's community. We will briefly discuss some larger scale solutions. These are solutions that are a little more difficult for individual teachers to complete as they may require approval from admin. However, teachers are agents for change and they can be the advocate for these larger scale solutions. One large scale solution to reduce negative effects is by observing and collaborating with other teachers within your school district or meeting with other districts in your area. Teachers can also consult with ELL teachers to get advice and become more knowledgeable on different cultures within the district. School districts can also consider diversity a priority when hiring in new staff. Lastly, professional development time can be used to educate staff by bringing in trained professionals, and schools can begin to educate the community. The community has an extremely large voice when it comes to schools because of their opportunities to vote. As teachers, we must educate the public as to why CLD students need to be supported within the schools. This could be done in a variety of ways, such as providing meetings for the public. In conclusion, CLD students are so important and they bring so many amazing things to our classroom. However, we must remember it is so important to create a culture for learning and not one that is toxic and hindering to their education.